You're watching Global News Morning on Global Kingston. Hey, thanks for joining us. Matt Lee is here, and we'll be talking about the competitive edge for listings out there. Of course, Kingston is a red hot real estate market right now. You'll be assisting people with putting up a listing and how you can elevate that listing amongst others.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you have all the I's dotted, T's crossed, everything is set up properly so that people are looking mostly online. We've talked about this a lot, and basically what you want to see is that the house is looking the best that it can, and that the write-up is the best that it can, and then it's right in the market.
Okay, let's talk about write-ups then.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that you don't have kind of a short write-up, that it doesn't give them very much information at all, but you know, if you're getting too wordy, then you'll lose the attention span. I mean, we have a very short attention span. If it gets too far, then they might just say, no, I'm not looking at it. You want to be kind of right in the middle. You want to make sure that you have a nice flow to it, and that it's the punctuation is correct. I mean, these things matter. We're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. You want to make sure that it's not just this short, take the time, make sure that it's right, and I think that it helps a lot.
Keywords too, I think.
Keywords, you start to look into value. Like the keywords have to be the value. You're starting to look at hardwood floors, granite countertops, spacious. Don't say a house is spacious if it's tight, because the thing is that then you're misleading, and when people walk through the door, the perception is off.
Yeah, and if that's going to be off, then maybe other things are going to be off too.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. So I mean, I think that if you just give it tell the truth, make sure that it's exactly what it is, but you know, make sure that it sounds nice, but that you're not misleading, because if you mislead, it's over.
And if you hear the words fixer-upper, understand.
Yeah.
It's going to need some work.
It's going to need some work, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, it's one of those things, actually, the fixer-upper and the TLC, the banks don't like to see anymore. So the thing is that it's one of these things that you have to make sure that that's the side of things. You start to talk about, hey, we're going to buy a flip, or we're going to buy a fixer-upper. You got to talk to your mortgage broker about that first too.
Okay, even with pictures here.
Yeah. So pictures, this is one of the key things. Write-ups is what we started with. Pictures is number one. You're taking a picture, I classify it as my own picture. You know, you're doing it yourself, and then the professional photographer is on the right-hand side.
It's night and day.
It's night and day. And when somebody sees this gloomy picture on the left, it doesn't give them a good feeling about the house. The fireplace isn't on, it's not lit up. The sun isn't hitting the house at the right time to take that picture. You have to make sure that there is some furniture moved around as well, but even if the furniture was left that way, that room is way too dark to put that picture online. So,
and it's a difference of, again, that competitive edge.
The competitive edge, and it's just the feeling of what you're looking at when a buyer, as you put yourself in the buyer's shoes. If they're looking at the house and all of a sudden they say, well, you know, I don't think I like that. It seems gloomy. It doesn't feel right. They could carry on. And why would you let them pass by your house because of a bad picture?
And including the exterior as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and this is the big thing. If the sun is in the wrong spot, then you're not going to get a good picture. You might need a professional photographer to come in and take care of that.
It's worth it. It really is worth it.
Yeah, you pay the extra money, have it taken care of. I think it's worth it all day long.
Okay, and we have another graphic. You have to explain sort of what's going on here.
So we've talked about pictures and we've talked about write-ups. If the price is too high, then you're maybe not in the market. And we are in a very competitive market in Kingston. Our average price is around $380. They are not overpaying for houses in the sense of, you know, you can price at $100,000 higher and you're going to get that price. I think that you need to be in the market, take care of all of these things on the way through, but be in the market, not above it. And I think that when you see how many showings you're having, you see how many calls that the agent is getting, you can kind of judge how that is actually working.
That's why the real estate agent knows. He knows what's going on with that size home. In that particular area, because depending on the area, prices can fluctuate.
They can fluctuate because there's different demands. I mean, if we're talking about, say, downtown, we're looking at, basically, if you do all of these things together, the sold sign will go on. I mean, that's the main key thing when you're looking at all of these pieces together. The sold sign will go on.
Okay. And staging too, we've talked about how important that is.
Yeah, we have a stager on hand, so I mean, it's one of these things that we look at these things and we think it's a good idea that some people want to make sure that there's different ways of doing it. One, you can say, okay, there's a staging where like we're not going to live here and it's going to look like it's just a stage home. There's a homey staging style where it kind of feels like you're walking into a comfortable home that somebody lives in, and then there's some people that just don't want to stage, and I understand that. You know, I think removing furniture is always a key thing to start with. Sometimes painting, I always think painting's a good idea. Fresh coat of paint goes a long way.
10 seconds, you're having a showing, you're walking through the house, you're looking at stuff, you see a bowl of fruit. Am I allowed to take an orange or an apple?
I don't normally say, you know what, sometimes there's cookies on the counter that they actually leave so that the house smells good, and yes, you can take that. Usually there's a note to say that you can take one.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matt Lee.
Yeah.
Real Estate Tips, brought to you by Matt Lee of Royal LePage.